Leading Well Hypnosis, we explore a definition of leadership that advocates for humility, integrity, and service over authority and control. We are invited to embrace and navigate both the joy and responsibilities of a life of leadership that embodies the values of our faith. Read Titus. In the book of Titus, Paul offers guidance in a young leader on what it means to lead well. For many, leadership evokes images of authority and control. We often admire leaders who are decisive, charismatic, and seemingly infallible. However, Paul presents a different notion of leadership in his letter to Titus, one that emphasizes humility, integrity, and service. For Paul, good leaders lead by example, and you yourself, he writes, must be an example to them by doing good works of every kind. Let everything you do reflect the integrity and the seriousness of your reading. Teach the truth so that your teaching can't be criticised. We are called to embody the values and the principles we teach, inspiring others to follow suit. Paul's invitation to live a blameless life may sound unattainable, but perhaps we can also hear these words as humbling. We are fallible human beings, and even the best of us will not be blameless. Good leaders then are quick to acknowledge their mistakes. They are not too proud to admit fault and make amends where possible. Healthy Christian leaders seek not their own glory but God's. Throughout his life, Jesus exemplifies this kind of servant leadership, from healing helpers to facing criticism for spending time with tax collectors and sinners, to multiplying food to feed the masses. Jesus models what it looks like to lead with humility and love. His prayer in John 17 highlights his mission to help people know God and experience full, abundant lives. When we follow Christ's example, we too become facilitators of this abundant life. We become connectors amongst people, building relationships with marked by trust, honesty, and mutual encouragement. For Father Greg Boyle, this is powerful vision of kinship, not serving the other, but being one with the other. Boyle continues, Jesus was not a man for others, he was one with them. There's a world of difference in that. Looking to Jesus as an example, we are called to build different kinds of leadership and seek different kinds of leaders than the models we often see around us. Dr. Brenda Salter, Mr. Neil, draws a distinction between leaders motivated by their xenophobic, competitive and combative misuse of power for their own gain and self-aggrandizement, and leaders who operate with collaborative community building power that works to counteract the divisive and destructive energy that is so pervasive in our world today. Jesus embodied this community building power. The role of a leader carries gravity. It calls on us to be thoughtful and intentional, mindful that others will follow where we lead. In Numbers 18, the duties and regulations for priests are described as a special privilege of service. Leadership is a gift, a joyful call to partner with God in loving others. God's call to leadership invites us into lives of humility, love, and a commitment to serve. Good leaders are not perfect, but they do aim to model the values they wish to see in their communities. In our daily lives, whether we lead in our families, workplaces, schools, neighbourhoods, or churches, let us follow Jesus' example and lead with humility and integrity for the good of our community. I'll ask you to reflect with some questions. How does Paul's description of leadership and Tinus influence your understanding of what it means to lead? And secondly, reflect in Jesus' leadership style and the stories this week. How can you incorporate humility and collaboration into your own leadership roles? And thirdly, take a moment to be still and present with God. How might you feel called to take on a leadership risk within your own community? Now let's end with a short prayer. Lord, guide us to lead with humility and integrity. May we reflect your love and serve our neighbours around us just as Jesus did. Amen.